Okay, so this is going to be an overview of Module 3 on the daily practice routine. So if you guys don't have this one already, download the daily practice routine. Current version is 3.15.11. And we're going over Module 3. Module 3 is scale practice. Major scale linear and horizontal patterns on 1/2/3, 4, 5, and 6 strings. And major scale, major pentatonic patterns on 5, 7, 12, 14 positions, okay? There's the first two can be quite lengthy, so I'm going to briefly go over what the concepts are here. Basically, when you're learning the guitar, when you're learning scales, there's the horizontal way to learn a scale across the string like this. And then the linear way of going up the string. So the best guys will learn both linear and horizontal and combine the two at any point in time, free form. Not a whole lot of teachers teach the linear aspect of playing up and down the string, but as many important jazz guitarists state that linear playing is probably the most important thing you can do to really learn the distance of notes in terms of melody on the string. All the really great musicians can play up and down the string as opposed to only playing across the string. Mick Goodrick, in his book, The Advancing Guitarist, states that it's very important to learn how to play up and down the string as well as it is to play across the string. So with that in mind, the first study is major scale linear patterns on one string. So let's take our famous G scale. Now, people are always accusing me of using G all the time. Let me reiterate, the reason why I use G is because G is right here within the camera region. We could use A if we want to, or B flat or any of these keys here. G happens to be very convenient. My suggestion, of course, is to do these in all 12 keys, actually all 15 keys, and learn the neck really, really well by writing them all out yourself. So you can go ahead to the website and download the companion diagrams to these, the major scale linear patterns on 2 strings, 3 strings, and 4 strings, and 5 strings. Go ahead and download those and have those with you, because you're going to be writing these out in all 12 keys if you really want to learn the neck. Okay, for Module 3 scale practice, you want to go to my website, www.pbguitarstudio.com, and then go into lesson downloads, guitar lesson PDF files, scroll down all the way down to Module 2, Module 3. And what you want is the major scale, linear and horizontal patterns on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strings. Okay, and that's this diagram here. And it is an 18-page document. And this is all the patterns on all these strings. Okay, and then you want to keep going with a major scale, major pentatonic 5-position system. That is this one here, the cage system. And then you keep going, a 7-position system. And that is this document here. And then the next one, 12-position system. And going here. And this is a 12-page document as well, so all the scales are all posted here. So you can download all these, print them out, have them there. Okay, the next one you want to get is the 14-position system. And that is a 14-page document, oddly enough. And it has all the scale positions here, 14 positions. Okay, download those, print them out. And then after that, the scale tone form system. Print that out, load that up. And this is actually you consider it to be a 35-position system, scale tone form system. Because you have scale tone 7, meaning starting on the 7th note of the scale. You have form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4. There's 5 forms, or patterns, if you will. And there's 5 more, starting from the first note of the scale. And there's 5 more, starting from the second note of the scale. 5 more, so on. There's 5 patterns for every tone that you start on in the scale. So there's 7 tones. So if you multiply 5 patterns by 7 tones, you get a 35 position or 35 form system. And this one is much more elaborate than the 14 position system or the 7 position system. As you can see, there's a close range position, position 1. This one is the next one. It's a 3 notes per string. This one is a string pair 3 and 4, and the patterns are 3 notes, 4 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 3 notes, and 4 notes. And form 4 is the reverse of that. 4 notes and 3 notes, 4 notes and 3 notes. And form 5 is 4 notes and 4 notes. So those are some very practical ways of addressing extended patterns with major scales. It's a scale tone form system. And we're starting on scale tone 7. We're not starting on 1, we're starting on 7. So that's why it's called scale tone 7 form. The next one starts on 1. So you can see that that's scale tone 1 there. And there's 5 more patterns there. So you download that one as well. Okay, and then for this lesson we're going to stop there and then continue on next time with the rest of them. So anyways, so you go to the website and you do lesson downloads, guitar lesson PDF pages, scroll down to module 3 right here, scale practice, download all these, print them out, and then that's what this lesson is for, all these modules here. But to go up the string, we start open in the key of G. What's the G scale? G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, right? That's the G major scale. Now, if you guys don't know that, you got to go back and study some real basic music theory, but I'm sure you know that. Anyway, so you got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Well, the open E string is E, so next note is F sharp. Then we go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, so the way you play that, you just go up the string like this. Then you pit and you jump up to here and land here. And try to get some fluidity with it like this. And then go to the B string, so you go B, C, D, E, F, sharp, G, A, B, C, D. Again. Then you go to the G string. The D string. I'm going to the A string. The E string. Back. And you really get a lot of use out of it if you just do this over and over again. Okay, so that's step 1 of playing these in linear fashion. One scale on each string, the same scale on each string, all 6 strings, the same scale. So we're doing G, okay? So that was step 1. There's plenty more ways to practice this up and down the string. Okay, the next one you want to do is you want to feel it in terms of timing. And timing means, you know, if you're going to have a basic beat going by, you want to feel it in all the subdivisions of timing. One note per beat, 2 notes per beat, 3 notes per beat, 4 notes per beat, 5 notes per beat. For 1 note per beat, you just set it at quarter notes, and you turn the metronome on, and quarter notes is just like this. Very boring, but hang in there. Right? Do quarter notes. If you're having a hard time going up the string, quarter notes is a good place to start. And go back down. And then after that, eighth notes. Now again, the technique is important here. Thumb behind the neck, curve the fingers. When you go up, you land the index finger. When you go up, you land the index finger. And when you go down, you plant all the fingers evenly like this. See, I didn't go like this. You don't lift them up into the air. You avoid that at all costs. You want to go. See, they're landed all the same time. So you're going. See, I landed all the same time. So going down, it's. Okay, then we do triplets. So triplet is. So you go triplets like this. After triplets, 4 notes per beat, so that'd be 16th notes, right? So you feel 16ths like this. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a lot of you guys are wondering why don't I go up further. You can go up to there if you want to. And I suggest you doing that after you do this for about a week. You go as high as you can go. But for the very first time you're trying it, you know, it's okay to leave that out for now because it's a little bit klutzy if you try to get up there right away. But we're just going to go up to here today, all right? So save this one for after 1 week of playing it, okay? And some of you guys have these 24-fret guitars, you know. Okay, so in order to feel 4, it's just 4 to 3, but 5 is a different story. 5 is 5 notes per 1 beat, so you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like this. You got to slow it down to turn the metronome off. And you got to figure this out first. You have to figure it out. You can't just jump in and try it because you'll stumble around with it. Okay. You got to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're gonna start. This is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you go down, you can start with the same note. Then you land here. Or just go up to the top note like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then treat this one as the beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you cycle back and you started this one as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it gets real tricky with 5. You have to map it out like that. You know, you got to go through it about probably 4 to 6 times before it comes around again with this just being beat 1, okay? Let's try that again. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm on the 7th fret. That's beat 5, so beat 1's going to be right here. So 1, 2, now you got to shift, 3, 4, 5. Now let's say we're going to start over again on that note again. We're going to play it twice, so that'll be beat 1. That's beat 5 and beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then beat 1 is going to be here. 1. Now you got to shift. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, now beat 1 is going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then beat 1 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're back at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the trickiness of playing in 5. So you really got to slow the metronome way down to like 40 and try playing in 5 over 40. It's likewise playing in 7 over 40 on the metronome. So that's just playing on one string, 5, 7, you go to 9, 11, 13, whatever you want to do. The next step is to play the scale up and down the string in terms of playing an open string and then 2 notes. And then again an open string, and the next 2 notes, and an open string, and then the next 2 notes. And then 3 notes. Okay, the next thing is you play a 4-note pattern like this. But without the open string. This way you can transpose it to all 12 keys. So we're not going to use an open string. We're just going to use the 2nd fret, F sharp, as our anchor. And you can go like this. 1, the fingering wise, 1st finger, 4th finger, 2nd finger, back to 1. So there's your 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you play that way. You can also play it up 3, back 1. So up 3, 1, 2, 3 scale sequences. Back 1. Up 3, back 1. Up 3, back 1. Up 3, back 1. Up 3, back 1. Up 3. So the whole thing should sound like this. And going down it's the same way. So you go, and then back up 1, up 1, up 1, up 1. Okay, so you really got to do these for minutes after minutes after minutes after minutes, you know, to really get the hang of it. I mean, sit there for like 20 minutes doing up and down one string. Then you really start to get the strength and the stamina and the coordination built up, and you really get the distances of the frets programmed really solidly in your head. Okay, then you do it on the second string. Okay. Okay, then from there you do it on the third string, the fourth string. This is just all linear patterns on one string, right? The next step is to take it, of course, to 2 strings. So now you want to download all the dual patterns off the web and take a look at those. Okay, so we've been looking at linear and horizontal patterns. You should have this page here. Looks like that. We're going to go on to page 3 of this, where you've got patterns on 2 strings now. And basically you just take these patterns and you just run them up the strings when you're playing these like this. You take the first one, we're still in the key of G. So you go like this. So that's open string on second string, first fret, third fret, open, second fret. So you got a pattern that goes back and forth like this. Then you just go up the string using all these adjacent patterns. So you go. And then that's how you familiarize yourself with going up the string linearly. So you can do it multiple times on each region like this, you know. Or just do it one time like this. Or you can shift on the first string like this. And shift on the second string coming down. Now, a lot of guys like these because they you can develop really fast speed patterns with these two-string patterns like this. You know, you've got you see guys like there's a lot of different players that use these two-string patterns over and over again, but you're just going. You know, even guys like Holdsworth use these two-string patterns more or less with skipping a string. Like instead of playing like this, he'll bar. Maybe extend it out. But nonetheless, the same principle applies. So you want to use these two-string patterns to go up. You can go. Or down. Okay, and then up like this, you can play two notes on the B string, and then one note on the E string, and go up that way. Or two notes on the E string, and one note on the B string. So you got. We're still using the G major scale here, so we're going. And my favorite is to use a cross pattern between like two notes on the B string and then one note on the E string. And then switch over to two notes on the E string, one note on the B string. So you're making a little X pattern like this. And you just take it up the string like this. Back down. Okay, then you can play two notes this way, or you can play this way. And the other way, two notes on the E string and one note on the B string. So you can go. All these patterns start to develop, okay? Then you take the next pair There's this. We're just using these two strings here on this side here. So we're just using these two strings. You can really do a lot more with that than that. You can go. Just two strings, right? You can do and then do a legato hammer. And so on, going up the string. All right, the next two strings are 2 and 3. We got open. And take it up the same way. And you can go on all these patterns. Take a look at these real quick. This is an overview video anyway. Okay, the next page is you want to go to the 3-string patterns. So we're on 3 strings now. So we take the 3-string patterns. We got first one. And by the way, these are really, really good drills for speed. I mean, you really want to get your speed. No, I'm really rusty right now, but just go slow and smooth. Go to the next one. And you can do the same kinds of things where you have one note on each string. And you can do the same kind of thing where you got like 3 notes on 3 strings, 1 note on each string. So you got. So you got the next pattern, and you could alternate pick it down, up, or directional pick it. So that's 3 notes per string. You take the patterns like that, then it just goes on through all the patterns on the strings, one at a time, which will be covered in the more detailed video. But for now, you just want to take your 2 strings. The idea is to take all these patterns and make it so you really get a solid visual picture of the whole neck going up, because these 2-string patterns quickly extend into all 6-string scales. So you're going to be playing. So you have a real complete picture of the neck, like a jigsaw puzzle that gets completed by putting all the pieces together in a painstaking way. So that's what this is about, going up the string, and then 2 notes going up the string, 3 notes going up the string, and you have some duplicated notes, but we're really trying to learn the neck, so it really doesn't matter at this point. You can go up and back like this. So you get the idea. So you want to go take them going up the string like that, okay? And then lastly, don't forget everything can be converted over to really good picking exercises. So you got a pattern like this. A couple ways to do a legato. Build up your string for legato. Next one. All right, so that's the idea there. Then you convert it to a picking exercise, you know. Okay, so we're still on the linear scale patterns on single string, double string, and we're doing 4 adjacent strings, okay? So real briefly, we're going to touch on these patterns, 4 adjacent strings, okay? Adjacent means strings that are next to each other. So when you're doing a pattern, take the very first one is you want to go. You can run back and forth. So you work some of these patterns out and you go up the neck to try to memorize all the patterns all over the neck. So you want to go from here to the next pattern. And you got a duplication there. So you can play the notes or choose to play one or the other. Or now a lot of guys like Holter will play a double note like this. And that involves an even pattern among the picking. So you want and then you keep going up. Next pattern. So you can take the pattern going up like this. So you really learn the neck all the way up. So all these 4-string patterns. Then you do the middle 4 strings. The second column here, 5, 4, 3, 2. So you got the next pattern up would be okay, and you take it up the neck that way. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these patterns. You can play a pattern like this. You can play a 4-string pattern and just play partials like this. Incrementalism there. And this is another place you can start with your legato training. Next pattern up. Next pattern up. Next pattern up. Okay, so we're just trying to ingrain these in so you work on a lot of details. There's a lot of stuff you could do. You could do open strings. You could do patterns going across, patterns going up the string. Then we're going to go to the next page would be running patterns 5 notes per string. And this is almost a complete scale, 5 notes per string. Or 5 string patterns, or I should say. 5 string patterns. It's almost a complete scale. So the one on the left, you would start. Now people always say, well, what's the use of doing a 5-string pattern? Why you want to do a 4-string pattern? You know, I mean, I don't understand. Why don't you just learn the whole scale? Well, the problem is like when you are like hiking somewhere, or you're out in the forest or something, and you have like traversed the trail many times from one spot. You're used to starting on that spot and going to the end of the trail. You know the landmarks from the beginning of the trail on the way through to the end of the trail. And another analogy is where if you're in a recording studio, instead of starting at the beginning of the take every time, you just want to punch in. Instead of start at the beginning of the take and do a whole new take every time. Same thing with this. If you're starting at the beginning of the trail and you're only used to seeing that starting spot, what happens if you're in the middle of a song and you're starting here? Well, you want to be able to get used to seeing a picture of a scale starting there. I hope you guys understand that. It's when you start from the middle of the scale like that, it kind of throws you out of the box of having to start over every time starting here. You know, you may not be in that situation when you're playing with a group or a song, you know. You may be starting here, like the solo might be starting here. And you got to be able to play, okay, know where your bearings are right from that spot. Rather than going, okay. Okay, so the idea here is that it puts you in a situation where you should be able to start playing a scale from any string and know the scale from any string. So that's what these are kind of designed to do. So there's 5 notes per string. Then after that, we're doing 2 notes per string again. And then real briefly here, we're going to go over some of these patterns. These are skipping strings because we want to talk about doing linear scale patterns on 2 non-adjacent. Now, non-adjacent means strings that are not next to each other. So they're non-adjacent. So you want to call it string skipping. So string skipping, you've got a pattern here. You got the first string, or a 3-note pattern. But you got this third string. See, we're doing the first one right here. See. So you're going to go to the third string, first string. And then double up. We'll go to the next pattern. So you get the idea there. You can just go like this too. Kind of hear some new melodic ideas that way by doing that. And this is just an exercise to get you to play that way. A lot of guys will play skipping string style, which is a whole other chapter. Anyway, the next one is the fourth string and the first string. So this column here, fourth string and first string, and then fifth string and first string, and then sixth string and first string here. So we've got a 5 and 1, or 4 and 1 is like this. You get the idea there? Okay, we're going to move on to the next one here. Now, this another pattern is starting on skipping strings with the second string and the fourth string, not the first string. So this is just more permutations of the same idea. So you want to go fourth string, second string, or and the picking, you want to go. So you're skipping, so you got to move your wrist a little more than a Sarah. You can do Sarah picking on if you want to, but right now we're just trying to get the notes. So you want okay, so you get the idea. Then you got to do the second column is the fifth string and the second string. So the fifth string and the second string sound like this. Excuse me. And you get the idea. You go up the string. So you get the idea there. Okay, so then we go on a couple pages more. we're going to do linear patterns on 3 non-adjacent strings. Okay, real quickly now. These are 3-string patterns, okay? Now all these are designed to get you more control and when you want to jump around on the string when you want to solo. These are just pure and simple, just patterns that you can practice that will enable you to be a better player as far as string skipping and string jumping around. And hopefully it's done in a logical manner. That's what I strive to do. All right, so G major, E minor linear scale patterns on 3 non-adjacent strings. 3, all right? So we've got next one. Now you can also do the different patterns where we were doing this before, and then doing 2 notes on one string, and 2 notes on, and then 1 note on the next string. You can do the same thing here. Or you can go like this. 1 note, 1 note, 1 note, 1 note. Keep going up. You pick the notes. You can pick this one. You can pick this one. Any way you want to work it. There's a whole lot of permutations to use for this. But briefly, we're just going through this stuff briefly. So we got 4, 2, 1. The next one is 5, 2, 1. Okay, this column here is 5, 2, 1. So 5, 2, 1 is the 5th string, 2nd string, 1st string. So you got 5. And you can do the same thing. And then, and you go on up the string that way, okay? Next one is going to be adjacent strings that are, we got 2 sets of non-adjacent strings here. You've got 5, 3, 1, and that has some cool sounding stuff in it. You got 5, 3, or you can play it like a scale. Next one. I think you're going to like some of these, okay? You know, to get real melodic with it. And you can do a scale sequence pattern. Interesting sounds, huh? So you go. You could do a pattern where you got 1 note on each string. Instead of going, you got. Or there's one. How about here? Anyway, you get the idea there, okay? So that's strings that are not adjacent to each other, 3 strings, okay. And then we've got all kinds of patterns here. We're going to keep going through these. And we've got linear patterns on 4 non-adjacent strings, okay? 4 non-adjacent strings. So what we got is a skipping pattern here. We got on the bottom here it says page 15. So we got and so on. You go up the string. So going through these real briefly again. All right. And you've got all these patterns on non-adjacent strings you got to work out. And then we've got string skipping ideas going on here. Let's go to page 17 here. There's a lot of ideas here. You got scale patterns where you got the bass notes here, and then you big skip over to the first string. So that sounds like this. So you get the idea. Okay, so then we're going to go up the string that way. And then last is on 5 non-adjacent strings, okay? So you've got 4 here. And a skip. Okay, then you got here. Okay, and you got another skip, and then these patterns just play themselves out. So you spend as much time as you want working on these. There's a lot more to them. So this is just for your reference. Okay, so this is a brief overview of that particular aspect of the module. Okay, then after that, we're still on module 3 here. We just did major scale linear and horizontal patterns on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strings. That was the first aspect of it. Okay, the next aspect is the major scale, major pentatonic, 5, 7, 12, and 14 positions.